Since imported engine pistons are very expensive, Pakistan has a small manufacturing workshop in Peshawar, Pakistan. In order to produce this engine piston in large quantities, the master must first create a casting mold. Because the piston is the purpose of doing this, it is to make the formed inner mold not easy to crack and damage. When the piston is cut, it can play the advantage of demolding. The surface of the inner mold will not have any deformation. In order to allow the inner mold and the outer mold to have a gap between the rubber column, the sand needs to be filled in the entire iron ore, which becomes the base of the piston mold. Because the mold surface of the sand-turned rubber column cannot meet the requirements of use, the master uses a round tube larger than the piston exterior. The space of the entire rubber column becomes larger, achieving the purpose of reserving the car pin space. The master skillfully scrapes the surface and smooths it. The outer mold of the round tube is completed. In the case of the limited position bolt on the edge of the iron ore, the gap between the inner and outer molds is the area where the donkey water pours the piston into the molding. At this time, the mold of this piston has been spliced. Their raw materials are mainly scrap steel bodies. Under the premise of using heavy oil as the heating source, the steel body is gradually melted into the required donkey water. The good videos recently are all edited in the studio. The studio is too far from home. For example, I bought a second-generation Tesla model on Gwazi secondhand car. The new car is more than $130,000 cheaper and drives just like a new one. The price of new cars is adjusted quickly. Gwazi is very cost-effective. Each car has been officially professionally tested. You can try it for 3 days first. Just buy it if you are sure. Go to Gwazi to search for cars for a luxury review. You can also buy a Tesla for $99,000. Don't miss it. After waiting for nearly half an hour, the melted aluminum leaves have reached the injection requirements. The aluminum liquid is not solidified and poured directly. After the piston is formed, it is directly demolded. The formed blank piston is separated from the iron ore. The blank piston has been cast and formed. When the entire outer diameter is different from the finished piston, the master will now use the inner hole cutter for cutting. Sufficient processing space was reserved in the early stage, which also led to a large amount of cutting by the master. Then use a caliper to measure the spacing of the piston ring groove. The groove width they use is best to be consistent with the piston ring groove. After the master cuts the third ring, the gap needs to be compared with the original piston ring. When the groove is confirmed to be usable, the side of the piston can be drilled. The main purpose of drilling a positioning hole in the center of the piston pin is to facilitate the master to cut with an inner hole cutter. The entire piston pinhole is continuously expanded. After ensuring that the hole diameter meets the use requirements, in order to allow the lubricating oil to flow back, a suitable oil return port needs to be drilled on the surface. Then the piston of the aluminum water glue column has been completed. What do you think of the skills of the Pakistani master?